Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. It is almost January, and for our family that means that it is time for a no spend month. Last year was the first year that we did our, I guess technically you could call it a low spend month because we do spend money, but the goal is to spend as little money as possible. Last year was the first year that we actually did it in January, and it was the easiest one that we had ever done. And I really think it's because you do it up big for December, you're spending money all the time, and then January rolls around and everybody has gotten the new clothes, they've gotten the new things, so there's not a whole lot of wants from anyone, and actually some of those needs are taken care of as well. Like the stocking stuffers, you got toothbrushes, you got toothpaste, you might have gotten deodorant, that type of thing. So it kind of takes care of some of that stuff that you might need to spend money on in a month, and so it's not that hard, in my opinion, to do it in January. So our family is going to be doing it again. I made myself some notes so I wouldn't forget anything, because we've been doing this for so long now that if I don't write stuff out, I actually forget what we do during a no spend month, because it's just, we've done it so many times now, and I want this to be helpful for you if you've never done one. These are our rules. You can actually make up the rules however you want to do it. I would just say whatever rule you're going to make, do your absolute best to keep it, because the purpose of this is to deny yourself, save money, and then really kind of get back. We've all been kind of extravagant in the month of December, and it's really to get back into those good disciplined habits of not buying every single thing you see, not going out to eat as much and cooking more at home. Just some of those good practices that let you save money through the whole year. So it is actually about denying yourself. So I would just say whatever rule you make sure that you do your very best to keep it. So here are some of our rules. We do not eat out in the month of January at all, except if we have gift cards, which I love to save up gift cards for this month, and I will oftentimes do that. So if my husband and I are just feeling like we really want a date night, but it's during the no spend month, we will pull out a gift card and go and enjoy ourselves, and it kind of helps you get through the month of no spending money. The only exception I have to this rule is sometimes we're far away at sporting events. Lots and lots of times I pack up our dinners and take it with us in a cooler. I do that all the time, even not during a no spend month. But there are certain situations where you just cannot pack up food. You're out way later and you thought you were going to be home for dinner, whatever. So I have built in to the budget 2 Little Caesars nights. So I chose Little Caesars because my whole family likes it. We are still like a 2 large pizza family. So for a little over $12, that is dinner for my entire family. I almost can't make homemade pizza for 2 large pizzas for $12, almost, with the cost of cheese and all that. So that is our only rule to the exceptions to the no eating out rule. This month is going to be a little bit different. All 3 of our kids are going to be gone to snow camp, which is a like winter retreat with their church youth group. And so my husband and I will be alone for the entire weekend at home, which never happens. So we're doing it up big. We're not going to go out, actually. We're going to stay home, binge watch all the shows that we can't watch when the kids are around, and pretty much I said I don't want to cook the whole weekend. So we have actually saved our eating out money from December with the purpose of using it in January. So I just have some rolling funds, so I didn't actually budget any money for eating out for January, and we're going to use the money that we saved in December for a couple of like takeout things for that date weekend that happens in January. Neither one of us said it was worth it to us to not do this just because it was a no spend month. because it literally never happens that we're home alone without the kids for an entire weekend. So we are keeping a very simple grocery budget. So I had hoped to do $400 a month, but realistically, our groceries have been running us about $800 a month, and I just didn't feel like I could cut it back that far and still buy the things that my family enjoys eating. I simply don't want to listen to complaining the entire month long. That's also not worth it to me from the kids. So I am still going to be buying them their favorite snacks and that kind of thing. I am going to be homemaking like basically all of our bread, all of our hamburger and hot dog buns. I will be making those. I recently discovered that I can make sourdough bagels. Super delicious. It's a process, but I think I have like a good rhythm down. So I will be making bagels for breakfast, just stuff like that. And we're keeping very simple ingredient meals to keep that budget down. So my budget is $500. I'm hoping to spend $100 at Sam's for some of those things that, yes, it's bulk, but I will use it all up in the month. And it's just cheaper, certain items, to do it from Sam's rather than buy like 4 of them every week, or 1 of each of the 4 weeks type of thing. So $500 is our budget. I do not have like a miscellaneous money category during this month. It all has to come out of the grocery budget if we're going to spend money. So there's that. Another way to keep our budget down, because our food budget does include all of our toiletries and household items. So I am not going to be buying disposable products. If I run out of like Ziploc baggies or whatever, I do have some reusable ones that I just personally don't like washing out all the time. But I would totally do that for this month if I happen to run out. So whatever is in the cupboard is what we'll be using. Maybe the only exception I would do is if like Journey ran out of sandwich bags to pack her lunches, because I'm also not buying a ton of individually packed convenience type stuff. I will buy like a big bag of like animal crackers and then she can pack them herself type of thing. So that might be the only disposable item I would buy. And then I do buy super cheap paper plates for lunches and snacks just to try to keep our dishes down, because I really only want to run the dishwasher like once a day. Okay, some of the other things that we have coming up, Jalea will be starting her basketball season, and you have to pay cash to get into her away games. We have a family athletic pass for our school district, and so all of her home games we won't have to pay for. We've already paid for that pass back in the fall. So we will be taking some cash out to pay for her games, and I would never not go to her games just to not spend the money. Not worth it to me at all. Something that I had thought about during the cookie baking season. So you kind of have to get creative. Like, let's say you've told yourself one of your rules is once you go to the grocery store, you're not going back until the next week or something like that, to try to cut down on those little expenditures for like forgotten items or whatever. Something I have done before, I have great neighbors around me. I have totally gone to them and said, hey, do you have eggs? Do you have buttermilk? Do you have white sugar? Whatever ingredient you're needing. And then I will, if they have it, I go and get it. And then whatever I'm making, I just send them over a plate of whatever I made. I've never had a neighbor complain about that. Taking an ingredient from them and returning like a plate of warm cookies for them or something like that. So that's just a way to think outside of the box, maybe, if you find yourself in that type of situation. So let's talk a little bit about how we're going to keep that grocery budget down. We already talked about like very simple ingredient meals. You know, the less ingredients you have, the cheaper that meal is going to be. So So something I'm not going to be buying, I'm not going to be buying any sort of extra drinks. My family really enjoys the big pack of Zevia from Sam's. I'm not going to be buying that this month. No one will die. It will be fine. I'm not, the only exception to that is Jericho's protein chocolate milk. He really likes those, and I really struggle to get enough protein into him. So I'm going to buy those for him. That will be the only exception. The girls and I really enjoy sparkling water. I'm not going to be buying any of that this month. I pretty much buy off-brand everything except for the things that I get from Sam's. Some of the kids' snack items and stuff like that. So maybe this is something you try out if you don't normally buy off-brand. I'm completely fine with Aldi brand stuff. I'm completely fine with like the Meijer off-brand stuff. It does not bother me whatsoever. There's very few things that I feel like I have to get name brand. Very few. I'm also going to be doing weekly grocery shopping. This is actually, believe it or not, harder for me to do than to do month-long grocery shopping, because I've been doing month-long grocery shopping for so long. I almost don't know how to shop weekly anymore. It's like so, I don't know, for some reason it's so much harder for me to think about everything I need multiple times than just thinking about it once and like getting 4 of them. I don't know. So this is going to be a stretch, but the reason I'm doing this is because I'm planning out a week's worth of meals at a time, and I'm only going to get the things that I need. Like if I don't need eggs at that time, I'm not going to get eggs. If I don't need a block of cheese, I'm not going to get a block of cheese. So I'm only buying the specific ingredients for that specific week. So this part I don't like, but I will, I'm going to be going to probably like Sam's, Meijer, and Aldi like the very first week. And then after that, I'm hoping to just go to Aldi. I might have to go to Meijer if there's some ingredient that Aldi doesn't have, which sadly from the pandemic happens quite a bit. I have to go to more than just one store. I'm not going to be buying anything ahead. This is also hard for me because if I find a good deal on something, it is very hard for me not to stock up and put it down in food storage. But I have a lot of food storage. It won't kill me to miss out on one deal. About the only thing I can think of that I would buy bulk of, like ahead of time, I've been waiting for mushrooms to go on sale, like a really good sale. About once a year they go on sale at Aldi. That has not happened yet. And then I buy a whole case of mushrooms and then I can them. So that's about the only thing I can think of that I would actually like buy for the intent to put down in food storage. Talking of food storage, I am not going to be dipping into our long-term food storage at all. That's not my plan with this. The only thing I would take out of there is I do need to go down and do some inventory and see if anything is getting close to date. If it is, I would pull up those items, put it up into my working pantry, and then whatever I took out of there, I would just write on my list to replace. And I would work meals around what I brought up out of food storage so that I, would use it that month or whatever. So, the last thing is I'm just going to be shopping my pantry. I have an upstairs working pantry, which is like my big pantry that I work out of, and then my food storage is down in the basement. So, I'm going to shop my pantry first. I need to clean it first because it is bad. Like real bad. Maybe I'll even do a pantry clean out video. I don't know if I want to show it to you. It's that bad. But I am definitely, the goal is going to be to use up a lot of stuff in my upstairs pantry. You know how you just have like ingredients that have been hanging around for a while, and this is just a great time to use it up. The only other thing that I want to quickly mention is I try not to buy toiletries pretty much at all during this month because they take up a large portion of your budget. We know how expensive toiletries are. So I think that will be good. I think we have all of the soap, all of the deodorant. The only thing I can think of, I think, is my daughter ran out of body wash, and she has pretty severe eczema, and so I have to buy special toiletries for her, so that might need to happen, but I'm hoping to not buy toiletries. Now, obviously, if you have to buy deodorant, I would recommend that you buy deodorant. But this is also the reason why throughout the year, if I buy something and somebody just doesn't like the scent of it, or let's say I buy a new kind of lotion to try and it just doesn't work very good and we don't like it, I save that stuff and I just keep it in a separate area in my hall closet. And then when this month rolls around, if anyone decides that they need anything or something runs out, then I tell them to go look in that closet and pull out whatever they think that they can use. It's not going to kill someone if they have to use a deodorant that they just didn't like the scent of, or lots of times this will happen, like if I try a new dry shampoo and it just doesn't work that well, I will save it, and then I still have dry shampoo for the month, but it's just not what I'm used to or what I like the best. And plus, it's also a way to use up, to not be wasteful and to use up those items, because I really do hate to buy expensive toiletries like that and then just waste them because we didn't like them. So it kind of forces you to use up the things that you've already spent money on. So I will, I tell the kids, like, you're not gonna die. Just go pick out something from the closet and you'll be fine. So I hope this was helpful for you. I would love to know if you guys do a no spend or a low spend month. It's very helpful for our budget. I'm actually not sure what we're going to do with the money that we save so far. It's sadly because of the cost of groceries and the cost of gas and the cost of everything else. It's not going to be as much as we normally do, because we're not going to save as much because our margin is not as big as it once was. So, but we're going to do our best. Not sure what we're going to save the money for yet, but we will have a little chunk of money to do something with. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down below what you guys do and if you have any questions, and we will see you in the next video. Bye. Okay, just kidding. I realized after I closed the video out that I forgot one of my most important things that we still spend money on during this month. I'm a brand ambassador with Plexus, which is where we get all of our vitamins and our supplements. I get my collagen from there. I have skimped on products before during a low spend, no spend month, and I have regretted it because every time I do that, somebody gets sick. So it is not worth it to skimp on your vitamins, on your healthy wellness stuff that you do all the time. Still buy your vitamin D, still buy your collagen, still buy, my husband and I drink our pink drink every single day, which helps us with inflammation and blood sugar and all that stuff. Don't skimp on that stuff during this month, because A, you'll feel like crap, and B, you'll get sick, which then is like a doctor's visit sometimes and a prescription, whatever. It's just not worth it. So, forgot to mention that. There are some things that you don't skimp on during a no-spend month, and your health and wellness stuff is one of those items. So, now for real, this is the end of the video. See you in the next video. Bye.